taking apart and taking away the animatronics and the original effect optics. So, to commemorate this effect, which by the way is still in use in a couple of other places in the Haunted Mansion, to commemorate this effect, I made her a Sleeping Beauty themed Pepper's Ghost Box. So, let me show you how this works. Here's the box. This is the viewing window. Now, think of a ghost. A translucent gray shape. The Pepper's Ghost effect makes that possible. The Pepper's Ghost effect makes it look like there's a translucent shape in your scene, even though there actually isn't. Now, here's what this effect looks like. Observe carefully. Here is the effect in action. This is the scene, or the background. It's pretty dark, but you should be able to see what looks like an archway. Now, I turn on the foreground, or the ghost, and you should be able to see the ghost spin, and also hear the music. Ready? Here we go. The Pepper's Ghost effect really involves two chambers, and a physical object, and some clever lighting. Allow me to show you how it works. Alright, I'm going to tip this on its front. Here we go. So, what you saw first was the scene, which is this part here. Right? If I tip this back a bit, you will see there are your archways and your various other things. Those are illuminated by a cluster of 3 LEDs right here. Right? Now, your window is down here. Right? You're looking this way. Between your window and the scene, there is a pane of glass right there at 45 degrees. All right? When the scene is illuminated, and nothing else is, that pane of glass is almost entirely invisible. What this pane of glass does is, at the right moment, it lets us see the second chamber, which is the ghost chamber. The ghost chamber, in this scenario, is that one. Alright? In this chamber, we have an actual figurine of Prince Philip and Princess Aurora dancing. The effect is this. When this is dark, the prince and Aurora can't be seen in the scene. When it's illuminated, it reflects from the pane of glass and down towards the viewer, or forward towards the viewer, giving the illusion that it's actually here. Not only that, but this effect is famous because it actually maintains all the 3D properties of the object when placed in the scene virtually. So, from the front, if I were to show you this again, see, you can actually see the reflection of the prince and Aurora in the scene because of the ambient light coming in from the top. Right? Now, I'll illuminate them more to show you even more. See? Right there. I see them as if they're here, even though they're actually in this chamber because of the pane of glass. Now, for the specifics of my rig, let's look at this again. So, the scene itself was easy enough. These are pieces of foam, cut out in the shape of a castle, and bits of construction paper around the outside and on the floor. For the ghost chamber, I found a figurine of Princess Aurora and Prince Philip, and stuck it on a revolving axis, which links through some high-tech Lego bits. This here is a hand crank that all this comes out to. When I turn the hand crank, the prince and the princess spin. Very simple, purely mechanical, nothing to it. That's it for the mechanics. Now, wiring-wise, I have two separate circuits that lead to these two switches. Right? The yellow switch leads to two 1.5 volt AA batteries, which power these three LEDs. So if I flick on the yellow switch, these turn on. Very simple. There's a resistor, and then the three LEDs are wired in parallel. So that's it for the scene. Now, for the ghost box, things are a little bit more complicated. I'm powering two things on the other circuit, which is what I like to call the red circuit because it's attached to the red switch. One of the things I'm powering is this LED right here, which is what illuminates my ghost scene. The other thing that I'm powering with these 6 volts is my MP3 player. It doesn't have a battery. It's powered just via USB. Now what happens when I flick this on is two things happen. Number one, the LED turns on and the ghost is visible. And number two, this MP3 player starts up. And after a couple of seconds of delay, it starts playing where it left off last time. So, I cue it up to the song Once Upon a Dream. I touch this, and by the time I'm ready to start turning the crank, I will hear the song from the MP3 player, and I'll admit this is a bit clunky, but I've just taken an old pair of earbuds, drilled holes for them here, and down here, and I've cranked up the volume on my MP3 player. It's a low, tinny sound, but I didn't have to power anything else, and the effect is still there. So, here you can see I will start the yellow circuit, illuminate the room, start the red circuit, illuminate the background. Now, my song is going to queue up, and of course it's going to be going downwards when it starts. You can barely hear it. And you can actually see where exactly the ghost and the scene meet in the window pane. And if I rotate this, it still looks like they're right in the center of the scene. Do you see that? And of course I can use the hand crank, which is out here, to turn. So there you have it. My Sleeping Beauty themed Pepper's Ghost music box. Now that you've seen it in action, there's nothing left for me to do but wish you a catchy farewell catchphrase.